can light therapy help the brain? Now, this was a very interesting study from the VA Boston Health System, and they found that for people suffering from Gulf War syndrome, light therapy does make a difference. And by the way, they use a helmet with light-emitting diodes and that apply red and near-infrared light to the scalp. And they've also done these diodes placed in their nostrils to deliver photons into the deeper parts of the brain. The light is painless and generates no heat, and the treatment takes about 30 minutes. Well, the therapy is very important because it's showing promise. Now, I'm writing a major article for those suffering from Gulf War syndrome, and this will be one of the therapies that I'm going to suggest that people use. That's important. So, light therapy for Gulf War syndrome, post-traumatic stress disorder, yes. By the way, from the University of Liverpool in the United Kingdom, what is the number one cause of death worldwide? It's heart disease and stroke. Now, why? Well, there's really two answers according to this latest study. They're not really going into much of a depth on it. They're just saying that 12.3 million people died in 1 year of heart disease, and now it's gone up to 17.3 million in a relatively short period of time. What could be causing a huge increase in the number of people dying every year around the world from heart disease? And the answer is simple. People are getting older. It's that simple. It's also true here in the United States. This was published, by the way, in the New England Journal of Medicine. So what does it mean? Let's try to get a context and perspective on this. Context. Most people do not want to change. I'm sure many of you listening right now have a knowledge and skills that could help those that you love live longer and healthier lives. It doesn't mean that they embrace them. In fact, the closer you are to a member of your family trying to encourage them, the more likely they are to say, you live your life, I'll live mine. I've had that happen. I'm sure you have. But we all want change. Now there's the contradiction. We just don't want to be the change we want. Most people. But the good news is about 5% of the American population are actively engaged in making healthy choices, committed to changing themselves and their circumstances. You say, well, that's 5%, big deal. 95% don't want to make change themselves, though they want the benefit of it. Okay, you're right again. Except there's 17 million people in that 5%. 17 million people is a very powerful force because an empowered minority always can influence a disempowered majority. So here's how you prevent heart disease. First and foremost, we know that there are certain risk factors. Alcohol, get rid of it. Processed sugars, animal fats, animal proteins, fried foods. And there's a whole lot of science behind each one of these. I'm just giving you the broad categorizations. Also, nutrient deficiencies like vitamin D will cause this, as will vitamin C, folic acid, B6, and B12. You end up with homocysteine elevated, and that can cause a big increase in heart attack and stroke. Also, too much salt in the diet, that can lead to hypertension. And having fats in the diet from any source that are saturated, except for coconut oil, can thicken the blood, and that makes you more susceptible to clots. A sedentary lifestyle. You're just not up and moving. Our body was meant to move, not sit in front of a computer or television. And we literally have studies showing the impact it has on your circulation and your heart and stress relationship. So you get rid of the negative. That's 50%. Now you include the positive. Lots of healthy water every day. We are dehydrated of good water. And don't say coffee. Oh, I drink 5 cups of coffee, you say. Well, that actually dehydrates you because the caffeine in it, the coffee, ends up causing dehydration, and hence electrolytes and minerals are lost from the body that you need. That's not good. Alcohol also dehydrates. You want clean, healthy water throughout the day. Juices are one of the best ways in the world of getting that. Organic produce, that's good. Green vegetables are good. Vitamin K. The best nutrients for your heart to keep it healthy, coenzyme Q10, NADH, vitamin E from mixed tocopherols, tocotrienols, L-carnitine, the herb hawthorn, and L-carnosine, vitamin C, and quercetin, the omega fatty acids, whether from flax and hemp or from fish, all beneficial. That's how you have a healthy heart, plus exercising about 45 minutes a day and de-stressing. So then you won't be in one of those statistics. Also, a higher dietary vitamin C intake suppresses age-related thymic atrophy. Now, this is from the Institute of Gerontology in Japan, a major institute, highly respected. Quote, vitamin C is an essential nutrient for human and certain other animals. It has antioxidant properties and has been reported to ameliorate oxidative damage in lipids, DNA, and proteins. That's the study. So in this new research they did at the Institute of Gerontology, they talked about the immune function and how it's poorly understood, and especially the influence of the long-term high-dose vitamin C intake on a number and function of immune cells. Now, in the present study, they evaluated the immune effects of vitamin C when it's there and not there on the thymus gland, and which is crucial for your immune system. And they found it was very beneficial. So, quote from the study, these results, meaning using high-dose vitamin C, suggest a long-term high-dose intake of vitamin C is effective in maintaining the immune system, partly through the suppression of age-related thymic involution in VC-deficient SPM4, or SPM30KO in the lab. So, vitamin C every day, high doses, helping your immune system. Now, I just mentioned carnitine. Carn, C-A-R-N, itine, I-T-I-N-E. It's a nutrient. It's one of the nutrients for the heart. In effect, it gives the heart energy. And that's important. Like hawthorn helps vasodilate, so you get an opening of the arteries and the veins, allowing more blood to flow, and also enhancing microcirculation to the brain, which helps prevent a stroke. By the way, taking a cayenne pepper capsule each day also helps prevent strokes, and you should always take one before you go to bed. And magnesium is also the most important mineral for your heart. About 1,000 milligrams of magnesium citrate will help prevent a heart attack. So you want to take those twice a day, in the morning and then before you go to bed. Now, this is from Clinical and Experimental Medicine, and what it says here is, according to this reporting of originating in Prague, Czechoslovakia, they said, quote, the aim of this study was to estimate the effect of carnitine supplementation on lipid, that's your fat disorders, like elevated cholesterol, that's a lipid disorder, and peripheral tissue insulin sensitivity, there's your diabetes. And so they did this study and found out that carnitine made a big difference. It was very important. So if you want to help your body, help your heart, help yourself if you have diabetes, then you want to take, I would say, 500 to 1,000 milligrams of carnitine a day. Now, another thing you can take to help your body, this is from Rutgers University, published in Molecular and Cellular Oncology, is olive oil. Why? Because of what are called phenolic. Phen, P-H-E-N, olic, O-L-I-C. These are compounds. These are known for helping the body, but one of them is particular. It is called Oleocanthal. Oleo, O-L-E-O, canthal, C-A-N-T-H-A-L. Oleocanthal can selectively kill cancerous cells, but leave all the other healthy cells alone. So that could help as an anti-cancer property, and that's probably why people in the Mediterranean who have olive oil and olives every day would make an enormous difference. So this was a good study, and it showed just one powerful nutrient in your olive oil, and always get your extra virgin organic olive oil. Don't buy the cheap brands. Don't buy light-colored brands. More likely than not, those are going to be soy oil or peanut oil disguised as olive oil. It's a huge racket out of Italy and Spain right now. And this was published in the journal Molecular and Cellular Oncology. Also, I was told by a woman who had a son who had advanced autism and was really very, very gone, not able to control the repetitive actions and movements, not able to speak, just grunt, and couldn't give him any more antipsychotic medication. He was on 4, but he was still having seizures. And she was listening to my program one day, and I was suggesting a protocol for seizures, and she tried it, and it worked. And from that, she not only stopped the seizures, went ahead and got a full protocol, and her son is alive and well today with no autism. And by the way, if you think that's just anecdotal, it is not. It didn't happen overnight. It took a long time. And you can't stop. You have to continue it every day. I invited that mother and father and young man to meet a group of 7,000 scientists in Washington, D.C. This was 5 years ago, when I was giving a presentation from one of my scientific papers that had been accepted as a feature to speak and share the information. And just so you know, they take all these, however many studies are presented, they have committees that select which ones are germane to the issue, and then once you're selected, you might be one of 7 in a given day for 2 or 3 days. And people come from all over the world, and they want to know what's going on, and it's a way of sharing information. But these are circulated, so everyone has a chance to see your work before you present it, and then up on a stage, there's a big screen behind you, and your article is presented, and then you can have talking points, and you can go to graphs and charts and show what you're doing, and that's how it works. And in fact, I have one coming up on a new study. In any case, instead of doing my study, I invited this family up on stage to talk about the reversal of autism. And then afterwards, hundreds and hundreds of the scientists and physicians from around the world went out into the hallway and met with the family and talked with them. So, because they'd never seen anyone. And to my knowledge, there are no people who've completely reversed it, who had advanced autism, who are alive today. But any physician, nurse, anyone engaged in public health who would like information on this, it's all up on my website. The articles are published. The protocols are there. Happy to help people. So this is from the University of Chicago. And there was generally what is called a temporal lobe epilepsy. That comes when people might have brain surgery, and the surgery might help them, but it never controls the seizures. So what stopped the seizures? Well, in this particular study, it was coconut oil. Now, mind you, this person was doing yoga, meditation, and dietary changes, and that was fine. Didn't stop the seizures. But 2 tablespoons of coconut oil a day in a smoothie did. This person was seizure-free in 9 weeks. And that's the longest this person had ever gone without having seizures. So that's one person. But that's one person is all it takes to let people say, let me try that. Because coconut oil is extraordinarily healing. It's just one of nature's most promising new foods, superfoods. And finally, ultrasound shows promise in this laboratory study for treating Alzheimer's. This was from the University of Queensland in Australia. Quote, ultrasound treatment helped remove brain plaques and improve memory in mice genetically engineered to develop symptoms of Alzheimer's disease. And this is an early stage result. So that's something that is interesting. And because I want to present all information that I read in the scientific literature on Alzheimer's, I was saying this is worth looking at. So I'll keep you posted. It's early. There's lots going on, and it takes time to evolve. But as it does evolve, I'll share it with you.